What is going on with y'all, man? It is Black Balloon, and I'm coming back with another video, man, so y'all already know what's going on. Alright, y'all. I think this one is going to be pretty interesting, right? So, obviously, with the video that I dropped yesterday, Soylent Green, and, we got into the whole homeless people thing and what we could be possibly eating that is disguised as real meat. Very, very crazy topic to think about if we're actually consuming each other. And so, when you get into stuff like that, your algorithms start sending all kind of stuff your way, right? So I was like, okay, cool. We can go ahead and kind of bounce off that video, right? And I got a couple other interesting clips I want to show y'all. And I also was looking into some stuff with McDonald's. Now, some of this stuff is not going to come as a surprise because I think a lot of people knew about this without really thinking about it or just putting your finger on it, right? Now, what's on the screen is the chocolate milkshake robber, Grimace, a big giant purple blob, right? Before I get into the clip, I want to show you about McDonald's as well. What's crazy is someone wrote this article this year on May 15th. So it goes to show you that this topic is not irrelevant. People are still talking about this. This says the dark truth behind evil Grimace. So check this out. So it says Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, famously held the belief that brand loyalty could be established as early as the age of 2. And anyone who doubts that Ray Kroc knew what he was talking about has clearly never been nagged for hours on end by a kid demanding you take them to McDonald's. So how did Mr. Kroc and his golden arc empire get kids so obsessed with their otherwise indistinguishable hamburgers? Check this out, y'all. I thought this was very eerie, right? So it says, y'all already know the iconic, and I'm going to say almost inspired by demon clown Ronald McDonald. He had a big purple pal named Grimace, an amorphous blob obsessed with McDonald's triple thick milkshakes. Now what you're going to notice is that all of this stuff is about kids. Everything is geared toward kids. The founder of McDonald's, he literally said brand loyalty could be established as early as the age of 2. They were targeting kids that were 2 years old, y'all, in the name of brand loyalty. And then they made it likable with a fat purple glob that loves to steal the children's chocolate milkshakes. Now it says if you grew up in the 70s, 80s, or early 90s, you most certainly remember the animated characters that made going to McDonald's about so much more than just a burger and fries. Ronald McDonald was easily the most recognizable among them, but he also had a trippy entourage alongside him. It included a giant chicken, a cop with a hamburger for a head, a striped convict, and a 4-armed purple blob named the Evil Grimace. Collectively, they were known as McDonaldland, a made-up universe populated by fast food mascots and kids hungry for milkshakes, and was the cornerstone of McDonald's advertising for decades, y'all. Think about it. All geared toward kids, but Grimace originally terrified the kids, and it was a total failure, which ultimately made them go away from it. It said the original Grimace was scaly, mean-looking, had 4 arms, and no charm whatsoever. He said, possibly realizing in retrospect, such descriptions should have been their first hint Evil Grimace wasn't the best idea. He scared kids instead of encouraging them, right? Says he was sort of like the Hamburglar for milkshakes. Now, when I read this article, I just thought about children. And it told you in the very beginning that they marketed this stuff to 2-year-olds. They knew brand loyalty could start as young as 2 to get these kids to eat McDonald's. I just wanted to get this stuff read to y'all before we jump into this next clip about McDonald's. Now, what's even crazier, this is something I never knew, right? This was a rumor back in the 70s about McDonald's and the Church of Satan and McDonald's being in the league with the devil. It said officials chuckled when the first letter arrived at corporate headquarters in Illinois. An Ohio woman wanted to know if it was true that company owner Ray Kroc donated 20% of the fast food chain's profits to the Church of Satan in California. Insane. This was a rumor back in the 1970s that Ray Kroc, the same guy who wanted brand loyalty from 2-year-olds, sent 20% of the entire fast food chain's profits to the Church of Satan in California. Y'all know Anton LaVey and that other guy that was in the military with the devil-looking eyebrows. The Church of Satan. I thought this was insane. Now, I got one more thing to show y'all about McDonald's. But first, we're going to get into this clip. It's very, very eerie. Check this out, y'all.
McDonald's hamburgers? And some French fries? Don't they look delicious? And some triple thick McDonald's shakes? Oh. Well, we can always make good use of that. Ah, here they are. Triple thick McDonald's shakes. Why, they're empty. Say, you sure can get a lot in these bags, can't you? Order in the court.
Your Honor, the accused hamburglar was caught red-handed, sneaking off with a big bag full of McDonald's delicious cheeseburgers.
That's serious.
My nephew was in that bag. My nephew was in that bag.
Come on. Isn't that McDonald's hamburger delicious?
Mom told me never to talk to strangers.
Well, your brother's right as always, but I'm Ronald McDonald. Give me a McDonald's shake.
Well, you sound like Ronald.
Here, I'll prove it. I'll give you 3 more hamburgers. I know, you're not supposed to accept gifts from strangers either.
But you're no stranger. You really are Ronald McDonald.
Huh?
Now, I don't know where that video came from. I don't know if it was a commercial at one time, if it was some sort of skit, a play for children. I don't know. But when I saw it, that clip sparked me to do this video and just look down the rabbit hole of the stuff I just got done reading, y'all. And I found one more thing, which I had already seen, some original photos of Ronald McDonald, and some of them can be very creepy looking, especially the early Ronald McDonald. This painting right here is actually a real painting that was located right next to one of the headquarters in the UK, if I'm not mistaken. Wait, hold on. Let me pull up the article so I make sure I got the facts right. So yeah, this said McDonald's fans creeped out as demonic painting discovered near chain headquarters. It was dubbed Pennywise's cousin has been found less than 500 meters away from the fast food chain's London headquarters, and some fear that it may be cursed. This article was in 2022. It was depicting an evil Ronald McDonald grabbing onto a terrified child. It's shown to have sharp teeth and claws and looks more like the villain from It than a cheerful Happy Meal mascot. Now, this is the entire concept of the video, because even in that clip we just showed, a kid popped out of the bag. He was pulling out all kind of stuff. He was supposed to be pulling out food, and then a kid came out of the bag. And then the little clip of, I guess, the hamburgers talking, said, hey, my nephew is in there. So obviously, they're hinting at something. I mean, remember the clip from Roseanne Barr in the last video about them being vampires and actually eating these little ones. I mean, it's well known. I just watched another clip, and maybe I could throw it in here real quick. It was from like an old 80s Satanic type of video where they were talking about little one sacrifice and the fact that they don't waste it. They don't waste it. They roast it, and then they
Hard evidence is difficult to find because if a child is sacrificed, that child's body isn't going to be left. If it's an Orthodox Satanic cult, they're going to burn the body and they're going to eat it during ceremony, so they'll leave no evidence around.
It's disturbing, very disturbing. And this is actually a real painting that just so happened to be very, very close to the London headquarters of McDonald's. Very odd. And of course, they tried to deny that it didn't have anything to do with McDonald's. But I got a couple more clips in this video for y'all. So we'll go ahead and get into some of those, all right? Check this out.
Okay. Oh no. Oh no. I've never had McDonald's before in my whole life, and I can't have this. I told myself I couldn't. I have like a very specific goal that I have to reach before I have McDonald's. Yeah.
What is the goal? Out of interest.
It's like a personal goal. You know? It's like once I do a certain thing or like reach a certain thing, then I'll like go to celebrate. It's like when you win the Super Bowl and like, where are you going? Like, I'm going to Disney World. I'm going to McDonald's.
Logo has a subliminal message in it.
That is crazy.
Okay, so you see the little girl, right? Look at her collar. What does it say? The Wendy's girl, the little pigtails, M-O-M. Do you see mom?
Right.
Okay, you know why it's mom?
No.
Because when the founder, Dave Thomas, I think his name is Dave Thomas, when he created that, he wanted everybody to feel at home, because what makes you feel at home when you're eating? Mom.
Sure.
Yeah. So he made the restaurant look like a home. It has warm colors. It has all this stuff. So he wanted to make you feel nice and subtle and calm. And he put that subliminal message in there that says mom. The same thing with KFC. Go to the KFC, what's his name? The Colonel.
I love KFC.
Love KFC?
Wait, hold on.
Over here.
Wait, hold on.
Come on, bro. Hold on, fam.
Fun.
You love KFC.
Yeah.
Show's over, bro.
Yeah,
I'm out of here. So, KFC, did you know that KFC, the Colonel, he's also a Freemason? Go to his tombstone.
Right away.
I think
Go
I've
to his tombstone. It has the Freemason compass.
And then they tried to make it seem like he was just, I think he started KFC at like 70 or 60.
He did.
70 or 60? Then that's when you get on? It's kind of crazy.
But think about the chicken, though. Think about the food. Think about all the stuff that we have in our faces all the time. These people aren't just put in place and just came up and just, oh, I'm rich and successful. No, think about it. So you go to his gravestone. It's a Freemason compass logo on there. That's why I don't eat chicken. Chicken causes mucus and cancer, or mucus and acid at the same time.
Yeah,
it's the only meat that does that. I'm telling you.
This lady in Congress apparently was suing Starbucks because they weren't listing the ingredients on their drinks.
Oh, gosh.
And the pumpkin spice latte had the active ingredient of ammonia in it.
Oh!
Why?
They use it for food coloring.
No.
To make it orange. Yeah. So
there's gotta be a better way.
Europe, they list the ingredients and they use, I believe, carrot or beets or something. It's like a natural food coloring. But the US Starbucks was using an ingredient that included ammonia in the pumpkin spice lattes to make them orange.
This is from yahoo.com. It says there's no pumpkin in it. However, the latte included 2 doses of caramel color level 4 with ammonia and contains the substance for methylamidazole.
What are we doing?
Yeah, why?
Well, I wonder why everyone's dying of cancer. Because we're drinking ammonia.
Yeah, and that's on purpose. That has to be on purpose.
Because it's the cheaper option.
And there's no way they just cut it out. It's the middle of fall. You know how many millions of gallons they have of that stuff, probably? They're not getting rid of it.
Oh my gosh.
I got pumpkin spice lattes.
All right, y'all. Now, what made me look up that Sabrina Carpenter clip was that in that play or commercial clip about McDonald's and the little ones, someone said, so this is why Sabrina Carpenter has never had McDonald's and she didn't want to eat it in that interview. And I was like, what are they talking about? I searched it up, and when I saw that clip, I was like, all right, either she's lying about never having McDonald's or she just flat out knows the truth. You know, a person who has been in the industry for a long time. Maybe she just knows exactly what it is. I mean, it makes you think about all those videos of people testing McDonald's and the burgers and the nuggets and leaving the burger out for 2 months and the burger doesn't change. Flies are not attracted to it. It looks like it came out of a commercial. Even a month later, the cheese and the meat doesn't, change color. It doesn't change form. The bread, all of it just looks the same. Either there is some of the most powerful preservatives in that food, or it is just so fake that it doesn't rot. It doesn't get any kinds of mold after months of it just sitting out. I don't know. Some of it is unexplainable. And I had to throw that last clip in there about the pumpkin spice thing. Now, that was true. And Starbucks didn't necessarily admit to it, but they did announce changing something about the pumpkin spice latte way back in like 2015. But somehow the topic is still relevant because when I just did a simple search, I was seeing people talking about it as recent as 8 months ago. So something is not quite adding up with it. Maybe it's just still, going around the internet because we already know the FDA will approve just about anything. And the fact that people were having pumpkin spice lattes and the ingredient of the food coloring consisted of ammonia is absolutely insane. Literally drinking cancer. And some people under that video was saying that they knew they were smelling ammonia when they were drinking those pumpkin spice lattes. And it was just, and the comments were recent. So I don't know if it's quite changed because, the pumpkin spice stuff is already being back advertised. That's really why I showed the clip, because we're approaching fall and obviously this stuff is being talked about again. But, you're dealing with Starbucks, another corporation with a siren mermaid as its logo. We're dealing, we're dealing with spirits. We're dealing with demonic practices. I mean, we just went over McDonald's and a connection that it had to the Church of Satan back in the 70s with profits going to it. That means the owner of it participated in this stuff. I mean, it makes sense. They weren't, McDonald's wasn't being targeted to you as an adult. They don't care about adults. They just want to make sure kids are eating McDonald's. I mean, think about that. I wanted to circle back to that because I feel like it needs to be touched on more. Why do you want kids to continue to eat McDonald's? Why is it really targeted for kids? Mommy, I want chicken nugget. I want chicken nuggets, barbecue sauce. Why? If you think about it, it's almost like programming. It's the same as like how when we talk about music and how they want to program the kids and turn these young teenagers into killers, into all kind of stuff, get them at a young age, corrupt their minds at a young age. They don't care about the adults. You've already been programmed. It's almost the same way with food. They want to program the kids, have them eating God knows what, consuming each other at a very young age. They start the programming at a very young age. And of course, food is just as powerful as music. You can be influenced by the food that you eat because it will control your moods. And whatever mood you're in based off the food you just ate will control your thoughts, your actions, the way you react to certain things. You're carrying so much dead weight from God knows what, and as far as what you've been eating. food can influence your thoughts, your actions, your reactions just as well as demonic frequency from music can. It's really one and the same, y'all. And I think this topic is, man, I feel like it's so important because, man, people feed their kids that McDonald's because it's easy. And a lot of the times a child grows up and they don't want nothing. They ain't got the palate, they tongue. They don't have a craving for anything else besides like finger food. And most people start them off with McDonald's. And it's a cycle. It's crazy, y'all. I thought this was a pretty good, interesting to, piggyback off the last video we just did. Hope y'all enjoyed this one, man. A little bit different on a Sunday. That James Brown video was technically my sacrifice, video for the week. That's why I dropped it on my birthday. But y'all already know what's going on, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this video. That being said, it's Black Balloon. And I'm going to see y'all soon, all right? I'm out.